another video from more Pegasus, and let's see what you say about the Hassan who's never worked really in his day of his life, comparison to the regular person out there. Personally, I have worked at a regular job, had to go through a ton of stuff. I had worked for a business for over 11 years, literally working like anyone else at a plant. Hassan has never done that, not one day. He lived, he rode a horse and did nothing, and complains and lies.
Series so ghostly. Even King Boo subscribed. In today's video, Hassan has finally given his speech at Stanford University, and it is bad. His speech is introduced.
I wonder how many people yapped at him that day. I would want to be a fly on the wall to hear how many people were complaining at him.
By another Hassan Glazer, who is facing 3 years in prison for multiple felonies.
Oh, that's bad. I wonder what the felonies are. Maybe not, because I don't want to know.
Sounds like a Hassan fan. The NPCs in the audience are loving Hassan's cosplay.
Yeah, it looks so cute with that picture.
Hassan gives his classic
I wouldn't be caught dead in them clothes.
Diddy Piker spiel about America bad and tries to make a shock collar joke.
Poor dog. My mom's dog never had a shock collar. Even if we had the money, we would have never bought it. And I was walking the dog outside in the rain, in the hail, in the snow, because the dog wanted to go outside and smell all the other dogs. Literally.
Absolutely nobody cares. He talks about his Cuba trip again and claims to care about US veterans. Omega Cap.
Go enjoy your fucking PTSD, asshole. Fuck you.
Base?
He tries
Not base.
to be relatable, talking about expensive healthcare as a multimillionaire. Hassan learns
He doesn't even know what it's like not to have great health care. This guy lives in his existence thinking, I have the best. Communist gives me health care. Yeah, tell that to every other person out there who lives underneath communists. There is no health care. Your life is poor. You're broke. You have nothing. You have zero rights. Actually, Hassan should move over to Cuba or China. He should move there and live there, not visit. And be one with the people.
that he's allied with Myron Gaines from Fresh.
And I would say that with anyone who wants to say they love communists, move to their country. Stop being in the United States. Why ruin it for us when you can just move? Just go. Just leave. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't shed a tear. And we should not help them out either. Only enough to go to the country and then stay there. After that, cut off everything.
And Fit and Sneeko, the anti-Semites love him. He enjoys them trashing right-wingers and immediately
and when they decide, I wish not, and they finally change their mind, then let them back. But if they get thrown in jail, that's their fault. Because they know what they were writing. And before they go to that country to live, have them learn everything what happened in that country and tell them, this is the truth. They have no choice.
regrets it after they deny the Holocaust. He talks about believing in the goodness of people like Sneeko. Ew. Asmin is receiving violent threats on Twitter for his opinion on the World of Warcraft Pride event. Subscribe.
I don't get why they have to put a Pride event in there. They're thinking they have to be inclusive. And that really, I would probably just log off during that time. Because really, I see people who love Pride, as people who I don't want to deal with because a lot of them are crazy. I've seen so much has happened because of them guys. It's like, dude, if you made me want to respect you, I should be wanting to respect you. I should not have to be forced. I don't want to force you to respect me, but I want to respect you if if you're really good. I respect anyone, even people of color. If they are respectful, I say okay. But if they want to hurt or maim people, then I'm against it. And it doesn't matter what color you are. I still agree in that way.
And they release JoJo Part 7. Surely Netflix will not fuck this up. Oh wait, they already did.
Let's up those numbers!
Now let's begin. Right, so last time Hassan was scheduled to give a speech at Stanford University. Now he was actually crying and complaining because they reduced his venue size to 300 people. He claimed it was sold out, and
I think it wasn't even remotely sold out because he does not know anything. And in actuality, they had to reduce it because there wasn't enough people.
everybody was lining up to see him. Free event, by the way.
This literally was a 1,000 person venue that was fucking sold out. They swapped it to a 350 person venue instead. So now approximately 700 people that got tickets to go to this event are not going to be able to attend.
Anyways, the day has finally come and Hassan has given a speech. And oh boy, the college students are cooked.
We're headed to Stanford University campus. I've never been. I can already feel the evil energy in the air as soon as we enter the campus
I can feel the energy off of you.
premises. The next war criminal is currently going to a class right now at this university. The next big Peter Thiel is going to be here.
Yeah, Hassan, what you're talking about is the dark energy evil aura, which is actually just you walking onto campus, right? We all know Hassan.
He has never had to do anything in his life. He's a rich little anchor baby, and he said it himself. He is an anchor baby, and he's against other other countries having anchor babies. So, what is he? Anchor baby of the United States, and his father and mother probably wanted him to try to go become the president of the United States. Except he messed it all up.
Hassan has got demon vibes. If Hassan was a cartoon character, there would be like a thunderstorm following him around at all times. He's kind of like Dio from JoJo because, you know, he abuses dogs, but instead of being intimidating and formidable, he's just sort of a clown. Anyway, so it turns out there's actually another guy who gave a speech before Hassan in order to like set him up or introduce him or whatever. And apparently this dude is facing 3 years in prison for his college protests or whatever. So let's just go through this real quick.
Working families are struggling to afford rent. We in the Bay Area are facing the worst affordability.
Okay, reason why we're having a hard time affording food and rent is not because of what we're having, is all the thieving of money, which is happening by these other groups, which are just taking everything, and that's why we can't afford food, paying rent because everything's skyrocket. Really, if we did not have all these people stealing millions of dollars from these other countries, I don't mean giving the money like we're giving to Ukraine. Ukraine, we're going to get all that back later because that's a loan. But these countries, which were the people who are stealing billions of dollars, this is why our prices went up, and that's why everything went up. And then all the companies jacking everything sky high, just so a bottle of pop is like $3 if they're given half a chance.
Affordability crisis for housing in the whole nation. Each year, healthcare becomes more and more expensive. Millions of working people are struggling to meet their basic needs, all while
In reality, the government should not have healthcare because if the United States government does, like, say, have healthcare on hand, it just skyrockets. But if every healthcare business had to compete against themselves, then who win would be the lowest rate. Like they all have to say this is everyone has to agree X thing has to be done. We all have to compete, and whoever is the lowest would win. Personally, I my car insurance is cheap because I own my car, but I got a low price because of that. I buy the cheap stuff. I don't buy name brand stuff. I buy great value. Sometimes I buy Heinz ketchup because it actually tastes better than the other crap.
While the billionaires, the ones who always put their hand on the scale of our legislature, are only getting wealthier.
I mean, true. I agree. I think
W.
Hassan should actually redistribute his wealth as well. And you know who else should help out? Fucking Stanford, dude. Lower their damn fees. Have you guys seen how much they charge? Here's Google. For the 2026-2027 academic year, the total estimated cost of attendance for undergraduate American students is approximately like $100K annually before financial aid. Now, they say they have like a...
Holy cow, that's a lot. But I wonder how good the studying is. If you're able to make it back afterwards because the teachers are teaching you really good stuff, then yeah, if it's a really good thing, you may get a really good job.
robust financial aid program, but let's be honest, most people are not getting that. Now, for example, if I wanted to attend, right, international students exceed $100K annually. So this shit would be like $400-500K for a degree, bro. Absolutely diabolical. How do they?
The only people who go to that college are rich people, not the regular people like you and me. We would be going to a community college, like the college in my town where I live. I could easily get a welding degree if I could pass the stuff, but I couldn't. And that was the most expensive one there was in my college in town, which they are good teachers, but they're not like like that college, which is beyond better. But I've met people from Brazil, God's sakes, who literally come up here and then freeze their butts off as soon as it hits fall up here because we get like negative 30 Fahrenheit up here in the winter.
They do this. This is literally daylight robbery. They expect students to pay $500K, bro. You can't make this shit up. And sorry for a little bit of a tangent, but oh my god, this is the biggest waste of money you'll ever make in your life, right? If you're actually contemplating, if you're like a student watching this and you're contemplating going to one of these expensive universities, please don't. Just pick a cheap one. Education is something you give yourself, all right? Through YouTube videos, all right? These damn institutions ain't teaching you shit, let's be honest. They're teaching you to become Hassan Piker fans, all right? Look at these fucking...
Frankly, Aldi, he is right one way, but if you first, if you really want to know if you can handle it or is it would be the right degree, watch some YouTube videos and then decide, is this right for me? If I went for, let's say, painting, nowadays I could just watch a YouTube video, see if I can really handle it, buy some stuff, which I'm going to wind up requiring at the college, just find out what they're going to require and what they're going to buy, and I'll buy some of that stuff so I can already paint. And then, if the YouTube videos prove I can't handle it, then all I wasted was a little bit of materials. Easy.
NPC bots in the audience, which we'll look at, right? Now, of course, if you're getting a useful degree that isn't gender studies or whatever, you can go for it, but still, I wouldn't recommend spending 500 fucking K. And the thing is, you're not making 500K after you graduate, right? People cope so hard, like, you know, actually, after 10 years after I graduate, I will probably break even. Congrats, you spent 15 years of your life to break even, and then maybe start earning. Like, education should not cost that much, okay? This is probably the biggest scam in history, and everybody...
And I hate to say it, the ones who no, actually, I would like to say, college is not for everyone, but who knows? It might be good. But if you're going for like a doctor's degree and not really good, you gotta get certified if you're a welder, or like certain things you gotta get. You have to go to college so you can have all the gear on hand. So there's you can't just buy all the gear, which will cost arm and a leg out of college. Like for welding, we had a plasma cutter. I would not be able to afford that, but you can get in college. More than 90% of the people failed. That was the rate you failed. So 90% would not get it because the last test was required work.
Nobody falls for it. It's actually crazy. No, but you're just
So you can pass the degree.
a YouTuber. Okay, man. Okay, go ahead.
And it would have been a 5-year paper before you would have to retest.
Go ahead. Go spend 500K, all right? Don't cry in 10 years when Pegasus warned you, all right? Also, just to clarify, I'm not saying don't go to university. Obviously, you
And it'd be surprising. One person who passed welding didn't even know welding required electricity. He was a painter. And he actually passed.
need to get a job. Not everybody can be a fucking YouTuber, obviously, but just don't waste all your money on it. Like, you can probably get a degree from like a cheaper institution, right? Anyway, so then this guy talks about his charges. He's facing 3 years in prison because of something. I'm assuming this is like college protests or whatever. And I find it hilarious they're just allowing this guy to speak and essentially inspire more of these protests or whatever.
We have seen Stanford cut funding from grad programs, disciplining progressive protesters for standing for justice, and perhaps most critically, criminalizing pro-Palestine students and systematically attempting to repress our voices. I myself am one of 11 students and alumni.
My stance with this is don't do violence. If Palestine basically would be okay if it wasn't for the terrorist organization that these guys are talking about, say Hezbollah did. If Hezbollah did not do anything and Hezbollah stayed away from Palestine, everyone would be safe. No one would be hurt. No, nothing would have been done. Israel would not even done anything. But Hezbollah had to use their houses as bunkers, so everyone died. If you agree with it, go ahead and say whatever you want. But I would say that's the best situation. Hezbollah leaves, and all the buildings would never have been smashed if they did not use it as bunkers, and they didn't kill, and Hezbollah killed a bunch of people themselves. They took a lot of people themselves. A lot of Palestinians were hurt by them. And Hezbollah trained the people how to be terrorists. Only reason why you have that is to cause harm to others. And a lot of Hassan people love it. Yeah, I wouldn't want to know them.
Of Stanford University, who are currently facing 3 years in prison on 2 felony counts for sitting at the university president's office in 2024. I appreciate the support, y'all. This is all while the district attorney of Santa Clara County has raised thousands of dollars through campaign events where he flaunts our unjustifiable prosecution and persecution.
Right. So I don't really know anything about this guy. Felony charges for peaceful protest sounds pretty ridiculous.
It sounds like it's not peaceful. It was a violent protest.
So I'm assuming there was like trespassing or something, like if he was in an office that he wasn't supposed to be, or occupying a building. I didn't really follow the news too well, but at other universities, I think there was stuff like this going on where people were chanting open support for like Hamas.
And since it's a felony, it's going to, if he manages to knock it out later, but basically it means he trespassed or did something against the government laws and you're not supposed to do.
Terrorists or whatever. So
And if it was peaceful, nothing would have happened.
that could probably get you a charge, and they were saying that they were being funded as well by foreign influences. Yeah, but if anybody knows, just let me know. Like,
Oh, And I do agree, a bunch of these protesters are paid because we literally had protests outside of my town one time over oil. And the guy said, I do have a job to one of the people I know. And his job was to be a protester. He literally flat out said to people I know that they're literally getting paid for it. I didn't deal with them, even though I drove past them a bunch of times because I didn't want to deal with them because I was busy.
Why this dude got arrested, right? But he's a Hassan biker.
And I had to drive past just to get from this town to another town. That was a pain. So I had to slow down because the idiots were close by the road. I really didn't want to deal with them because really they ended up throwing trash all over the place, throwing it into the river, doing a ton of damage for nothing.
Fan, so he probably does belong in prison. So then he introduces Hassan, and Hassan does love criminals, and he's dressed up as Chairman Mao again.
And during that time, they were just putting they're updating the oil system because we have a pipe go in the countryside through for one place to another station, and they were just updating it so it didn't leak.
To our speaker for the evening, he is a streamer. He is a content creator, he is a writer, he is an anti-Zionist, he is a socialist. And maybe, by listening to the progressive perspectives he holds, perspectives that have historically been marginalized, we can have a couple answers to our big question of what is to be done. So I ask you all, with your hands, with your voices, make some noise and welcome Hassan.
They had to reduce it because there was not a whole lot.
Piker, everyone.
Oh, correction. They could only fill this room up. That means the original venue was way too big. When they got the whole thing, they found out it couldn't fit. They did not have enough to make it wanted, and they had something else coming in. So this is all they had.
Wow. That's good.
Just wearing the clothes of a guy who I'm not gonna say.
It's gonna be a tough speech to follow.
Holy NPCs in the audience, bro. Ay. All those cheers. That is the sound of humanity's IQ being flushed down a drain. This is the status.
No, that sounds like the IQ still being decent, because if he got an original venue and that was filled, then I would say it's being flushed down the drain.
Of the brightest universities, bro. This is why I say it. These places just aren't worth it, all right? Clearly, they aren't teaching you too well if you end up becoming a Hassan fan. And yes, I know it.
And I wonder how many of them people were paid, too. There may have been a whole bunch that had to get paid. Just say, oh, you're going to get credits just to come here. I wouldn't put past it. There are some people getting paid in that crowd.
It doesn't represent all the students there.
And only some of them probably actually really like him.
They have like 20K students or whatever, and this is like 300 people, of which, you know, there are some people in the audience who aren't even clapping. They're just like annoyed to even be there, probably dragged there by their loony friends. You know, I can't imagine being like a sane person, you know, surrounded by a bunch of Hassan Piker supporters, right? You gotta blend in with the zombies, right? Imagine being like a viewer of the legendary series, and then you're everybody around you is a Hassan Piker fan. Now, I don't recommend you announce yourself, right? You gotta blend in, right? You know, like to survive amongst the zombies and like Walking Dead, they take all the like zombie juice or like guts or whatever and put it all over their body to blend in. That's what you gotta do when you're surrounded by these ravenous fucking Hassan fans, right? Because not gonna lie, these are not rational thinkers. They'll probably assault you or something, right? So basically, here's what you gotta do. You gotta be like, yes, I do love Hassan. Yes, what a funny guy, especially when he definitely did not shock his dog. You know, I love that he loves One Piece. I love it too. You gotta be an omega normie in the Hassan community, right? If the mob finds out you like the legendary series, holy shit, you're cooked. It's like dripping blood in a pool of sharks. Is that even real, by the way? I don't know. That's just an analogy I heard. So then Hassan gives this speech about American imperialism and another 15-20 minutes of America bad. And he tries to make a shock collar joke.
Empires are restless organisms. They must constantly renew themselves. Should an empire start leaking energy, it will die. I think looking at the state of affairs in the Middle East,
We are not an empire. United States isn't. We are a group of people which cares about others and also to better the countries.
we can safely say that the American empire is more than just leaking energy. Ever since the end of the Cold War, the United States has been the shot caller in world politics. The only superpower.
Okay, tell me. In the Soviet Union, they did not have any real good stuff. But in the United States, we had shopping malls, tons of stuff. Our people live a lot better, and this is during the Cold War. Communists, they were lucky enough to see food. Their people live very, very poorly. They were spending all of their money on weapons, which we were really not going to do anything because they had nukes. But our people live excellent. Oh, God. Now, tell me which one do you want to live in? Soviet Union or the United States during the Cold War?
Left standing.
Wow, you're hilarious, Hassan. Shock collar. Get it? Because he shocked his dog, guys. Absolute comedian right here. Absolutely nobody laughed. Except your fucking bot chat, of course. The audacity, man, to shock your dog live on camera and then brag about it all the time, meme it. One day, Kaya will be free. So then he brings up his Cuba trip. He is literally never
And just to say what I mean by the Soviet Union, I mean Russia.
going to shut up about this. He never seems to play the video of his hotel being lit up, though.
I recently visited the country of Cuba, where American sanctions and a trade embargo have been in place for over 6 decades. And I can tell you from what I saw, but America does have guns. America also has bombs.
We also have rights.
And it has missiles, and expensive jets, and military bases all over the globe. I believe that the American empire is a bad bargain for Americans.
Why is Hassan not just kicked out of the country? I just wonder, are they just using him to round up all these guys who are really should be thrown out of the country? I think they may be using him that way just to make a note on who is we should throw in jail because we already know they're radical.
A lot of people might get mad at me and say, well, I'm a third worldist. As a matter of fact, it's actually pretty good in comparison to the third world, but it is. Now, it's objectively true that we do benefit in the imperial core, but our empire has a tax. Periodically, we send our own people off to other countries that die in a mission with no real strategic purpose. We have a limited.
Actually, we're doing that. We're sending our people in different places to do better. Basically, we're not doing like the Soviet Union, who sent a group in the area and for no reason. We went into basically Iraq and that because we thought they had weapons. Our information was wrong. We also took on the Taliban because they attacked us. Don't touch our boats.
Limited and very expensive form of socialism for veterans, and even that is lackluster.
There's no fucking way this guy is talking about veterans. Bro, you are shameless. Didn't you literally have a clip recently about veterans? Play the recap.
Do you even have your balls remaining, or did a fucking IED explode them for you, dumbass? Shut the fuck up. Go enjoy
Yeah. He doesn't care about veterans.
your fucking PTSD, asshole. Fuck you.
Yeah, that's not very nice, Hassan. You and Froggen should never ever talk about veterans. Boo freaking oh, hope you get PTSD. That's
I respect my veterans. Also, my grandpa is a veteran before he passed away. From old age. From World War II. As a tank driver of a Sherman.
That's your head mod, the producer of your stream, someone you consistently defend and you approve of. Absolutely shameless. It's hilarious to see Hassan pretend that he gives a shit about any soldiers at all. If he had his way, he'd probably let America lose everything, get captured, turn into like a communist regime or whatever. He's explicitly said that is his goal. He wants to elect socialist, communist everywhere and start a revolution in America, right? Which is like Bro's a traitor. Bro's a traitor. Lock him up. So then he tries to be relatable, talking about like healthcare costs, as if this guy has ever struggled in his life.
I grew up in Turkey my whole
Horseback riding, having fun. Doesn't know anything. A nipple baby.
life, and yet I sound American, I look American, I consumed American products my whole life growing up. I wanted to come here. I believed in the American dream until I got my first hospital bill, and then I was like,
He never had any worries. He never had any problems. He's lied through his teeth.
this is yikes.
Hassan, for the love of God, don't act like you ever had to struggle ever. We all remember Farragon-sized Hassan, you were always fat and well-fed, and torturing horses, torturing animals. You with your billionaire dad, multi-millionaire uncle, landlord mom, and now multi-millionaire yourself. Like, shut the fuck up. When have you ever had to struggle with medical bills? This does not affect you at all. Okay, fine. Maybe you pay a bunch of money for the chemicals you're taking and the drugs you're injecting. Sure. But it's still probably a drop in the bucket, you know? When you're rinsing your audience dry with your streamers and merch, all these people donating to you. By the way, this guy.
That dog, I feel bad for. It has shock collar on all the time, basically. Especially when he's streaming and yelling and that. I really feel bad for that dog. It should be taken out of his place and given to someone else.
Guy's supposed to be the socialist, right? Literally taking money from brokies every single day of his life. Every single day he goes live and takes donations from 9-to-5 workers who earn significantly less than him. Never ask Hassan if he's a capitalist. He will absolutely crash out. So then he talks about people trying to cancel him. Obviously, the narcissist got to talk about himself.
There's a lot of frivolous stuff that gets attention. For example, the world economy is about to collapse, and yet for the past week or so, if you've been on Twitter or if you've gone and read the Jewish Insider publication or numerous others, they're talking about me for some weird reason. They're talking about my Twitch stream and which candidates I associate with, which is ridiculous.
I mean, this is just wonderful logic. So because, bad things are happening in the world, the economy is collapsing, everything is going to shit, you can't talk about Hassan. You cannot criticize anything Hassan does. I mean, in the same vein, Hassan, you talk about Asmongold. I mean, we can play this game all day. You're a popular Twitch streamer, and you influence people to do horrible things. In my opinion, you probably inspire future terrorists, so I'd say it's pretty important to talk about you and make sure somebody corrects your lies, right? Bros,
And like and sub.
unironically, like, stop guys, stop, let me ruin society in peace, leave me alone. And oh my god, his glazing chat, bro, just stop jerking him off constantly. Right, I took a random screenshot here. Why are windows behind him? What the frick? Do you think he's going to get assassinated or something? I guess they think he's Charlie Kirk, right? So they're like, protect.
They want to protect the terrorist organization Lover. I literally can't say the words which popped into my mind.
Hassan at all costs. Yeah, I don't think that's happening, to be honest. I miss my Chinese spy. Like, even your audience has these inside jokes because they know. They know. Muted looks like he's doing stand-up, so your own audience doesn't even listen to you. May Hassan open the eyes of the students. Oh, brother. Right, so Hassan ended the speech in a bizarre way. He talks about America being like this beast, and you're in the belly of the beast, so wink wink, you need to do something about it.
But that makes your work even more important. The Cuban patriot Jose Marti once said of living in the United States that he had lived in the belly of the beast, and thus he knew it well. You all live in the belly of the beast. You know it well. Use the knowledge to fight it for a better world. Sound the alarm on techno-fascist danger. Stand up for the poor and the dispossessed. Free.
Okay. He should actually do what he say he should do. He should give away a bunch of his wealth because he's communist. So he should give away his mansion to some poor beggar who lives on the street and a bunch of his money to the poor beggar. because or open his house for free to live, because communist does that, and preach what he say. He'll never do it. Never once will he ever do it, because he's not a communist. He's LARPing, and he said it on his own live stream. He is LARPing as a communist. He actually does not believe in the Communist Party. He hates the Communist Party. He just wants to be rich.
Palestine. Thank you.
Oh my god, bro. Imagine being the NPC bot actually clapping for this moron. Those claps better be because he left the stage. But yeah, they really seem like complete dunces who just cheer anytime you say, America bad, guys. Oh my god, he said it. He said it again. It's time for revolution. Oh my god. No kings, take them down. I mean, that is essentially Hassan's message, right? Basically, start this revolution. We need to establish communism in the US, take down the system, support the terrorists who are trying to destroy the USA, literally chant it all the time. Absolutely insane. He's an op. He needs to be arrested, actually. All right, Hassan's comment section. Hassan going to be the first person to give a speech without a soundboard. Yeah, I find it really interesting that he managed to pull this off without spamming "fa." Must have been really hard. Like, he must be having withdrawals. The opening speaker was awesome. You mean the criminal? The Mao drip goes crazy. Like, this isn't even, you're not even hiding it. What the fuck, bro? Stanford University only cares about its brand and its purse. That goes hard. So they like invite these people over to shit talk their own university. That's funny as fuck, because they know at the end of the day, these people are still going to be paying them, you know? So it's like hilarious. I'm old, over 50, and I love Hassan. My kids turned me on to this truth-telling, anti-imperialist dude, and I'm so freaking happy. All right, grandma, back in the coffin. You know his finger is twitching bad. I need a socialist closet clothing video. Oh, just look up dictator outfits. I'm a recent Stanford alumni who went to this talk. This was a fantastic event. In my experience, a lot of people who attend seem mostly focused on chasing a bag, founding startups, without thinking about how the work they will end up doing impacts the world at large. Oh, you mean they're trying to fend for themselves, you know, earn a salary, take care of their future family? Wow, horrible. I can't believe they didn't think about the political and economic state of the world right now. Unfortunately, Bay Area culture seems to encourage this mindset, so it's especially important.
So the people who went there could care less about like you, me, and everyone else, and only cares about how much money they can make. So they're all brainless. They're basically with brains, but they don't think with what they should be. Just like Hassan.
To have these discussions in such a place and at such an institution. Thank you for your hard work. Hope to have you in the area again soon. Surely this random bot account is a Stanford alum, yeah. Chairman Piker. First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they hate you, and then you win. Young Piker officially on step 3 of 4 in a big way in 2026. Oh, that they hate you. Yeah, well, no, they've always hated him. I don't think he ever gets to step 4, to be honest. They do the first 3, though. He's kind of been stuck on this for like a decade.
The problem is, if he wants to become the president, he needs to actually get the people on his side, which he go splat.
Presidential candidate level intro
Or basically, he's not going to get the people on their side, not like Trump.
speech, bro. What is this delusion? Push the button, Hassan. Start organizing people outside of electoral politics to build an international mass movement. What did you mean by this? I really hope you're not talking about like actual revolution or some shit. Moving on to Hassan talking about American imperialism. Basically, he was doing his classic spiel of America bad, and then a chatter pointed out.
Like and sub. Oh my god, Hassan is crazy. I really don't like Hassan. Because I'm a US born person who loves the United States.